SPEC Mix Bricklayer 500 regional competition out here in the Northeast. We are at Succassana, New Jersey today at Ruther Material, and we are looking to find out who is the team that could potentially be the best bricklayer in the world. We are about to kick this event off live. Thank you for joining us. I am Sean O'Malley with SPEC Mix. I'm going to be joined today with Mr. Jim Patches. We're going to walk you through this play-by-play. We're going to give you up-close action. And it's going to be in your face all day long. These teams, we've got 9 teams that are competing out here. They're getting ready. They got some mortar on the boards. We have some local communications that's going off. They're going to get these teams geared up to say go. Look at this event. We are going to have a great, fantastic day. We've got 2 SPEC Mix silos, and we're actually only going to be pulling 1 silo today to feed all of these teams the massive amount of SPEC Mix mortars. We're going to key in over here right now. Let's go over to Johnny Lennon. Johnny was the winner of our event here last year. Let's see, before the whistle goes off, what's up, Johnny? How are you, sir?
Good.
Say hi to all. You got some fans at home that are watching this live?
My wife and kids are home. Ophelia, JC, Mason, 2 other sons, Sebastian over there, and my oldest helping me today, Gene.
That's awesome. Yeah, we understand. You had to pull an audible here almost last minute.
Yeah.
Sorry, Luke. I understand you have a bum leg. Broke your leg there in an accident.
Too.
So he's got the support.
Hey, Luke!
There's Luke's regular tender, but those crutches are not going to get it done today. So Johnny's working with Gene. Gene's going to try to fill the shoes there for Luke. We're about ready to kick this off.
Yeah. Load him up.
Thanks, Johnny. Thanks for talking with us. We'll be back throughout the day. Good luck to you, man.
All right, everybody, we're about to start. So, boys, put trowels on. Linger up, that means you.
They got no mud.
Well, looks like we gotta bring out one more mud tub here before we can light this candle. You see this mortar that we got here today, SPEC Mix pre-blended type N mortar. This is actually colored with Prism Pigments color right here, giving it a nice shady gray look. It's gonna look awesome when these walls are up. We got some last little bit of mortar coming. Up there on stage here, we got Miss Katie Knapp. Miss Katie Knapp is going to be talking to the local crowd here today, filling them in. All the spectators out there, they can't hear my voice. They're going to be listening to Katie, and Katie's going to keep them dialed in, going to do all the countdowns.
Last minute qualifier. Yeah.
Here's an awesome story right here. Eric.
Yes.
Last minute, and when I say last minute, I mean you came in literally. We had one team that literally got a blowout on a tire, and they got stuck on the highway. They could not get here on time. We asked you and some of your students to come over and help build a starter wall so that when that team arrived, they could actually just jump in and start laying brick. But unfortunately, that team was not able to do it. You manned up. You've got the courage. You said, hey, I could do this. I'm going to run it. So who are you working with today?
Today I'm working with Red Angle Heart. He's local 5 pre-job instructor. My brother.
That's your brother.
Well,
so we got a brother team.
Brothers in the hall.
Brothers in the hall. Brothers in the hall. That's awesome. didn't even receive the rules until today.
Okay.
About what, 30 minutes ago?
Yeah, something
He's
like
like,
that.
the man knows.
Lay brick.
Lay brick. The man knows how to use a trowel, and he's gonna see how it falls into place here for him. We're gonna be checking in with you throughout the day. Don't get scared of us. We're just here to chat.
I want everybody to know it's been about 2-3 years since I've laid brick on a long wall like this to the line. So let's see how we do.
Well, yeah,
we never forget.
You do have a long wall. There's 26 foot, 8 inches of wall. He's going to start filling that in here pretty quick. We get the last little bit of preparations being made. We've got our judges on board. If you see all these people in red, we've color coded this event. We got masons and tenders in blue. We've got judges in red. We've got the crowd, which is multicolor. Right. What are we walking in on here? A little strategy? Are you guys teaming up?
Just talking about life.
Are we taking odds? What do you think?
I got a pull for me.
All right. Are we going to hear some smack talk throughout the day?
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, we're wishing you well.
Thank you.
We'll check in on you.
God bless.
All right. A little bit later here, we're going to run for 60 minutes. These guys are going to then get a 5-minute break, get some water in them, come back, and they're going to go for another 20 minutes of striking. We're going to walk you through this, give you the play-by-play, and show you all of the important critical items. One of the things that we're going to focus on is the deductions. Whoa, look at this here. This little mini mock-up wall. No, it doesn't look too pretty, does it? But if you look close, we're going to show you what criteria the judges are looking for and what's going to cost these bricklayer points. The name of the competition is speed, but if you go too fast, well, you're going to sacrifice quality, and that means deductions. The way you win this event is no deductions and be fast. I think they're all primed up, ready to go. We got some sponsors out here today, like Ford, Stabila. They're actually representing their companies here. They've got some giveaways. They've brought some friends and family along with them. We're gonna walk down and see some of these fancy Ford trucks here in just a little while. Well, we better go check this out down here. I see a team consorting with a judge. Hopefully there's no bribing going on here. Look at these guys here. Ready to go?
Absolutely.
Team buyers right here. Now tell us, how many years have you competed now?
8 years. This will be 8.
8 years. You have gone head to head against names like Mark Wells in the past. Mark's represented the Northeast pretty well out at the national competition. You've been the nationals now how many times?
3.
3 times.
Vegas 3 times.
You want to go for a 4th?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. You guys don't want to stay in the Pittsburgh area in January? You want to go to Las Vegas instead?
I'd love to go to Vegas in January.
I'm with you there. My ticket's already booked. Boys, we might be booking yours at the end of today. Felipe and Ray. Ray Merrill. Oh, another one. Jeez, Ray. You're legendary to the industry, man. You've done this a lot. How many times have you competed now?
5 now, right?
5 times. And you've gone head to head with the Byers brothers here a bunch of times. You think you got it for them this year?
We aiming the other guy.
What was that, Felipe?
We're aiming the other guy.
Oh.
Champ. We don't go for the second.
Okay.
We're going for the first.
Well, if you at home didn't catch that, their targets are not on the Byers brothers, but they're talking about Johnny Lennon Grapp. It's going to be a hot one here today. It's going to be fantastic. We just had the national anthem go. It was fantastic. We got this huge set. We've got a monster U.S. flag hung up over the Ruther Material knuckle boom over there. It was a great presentation. First year competing. How do you feel?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling strong.
What's your name?
Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Got any friends and family watching at home? You know, we're broadcasting this live
I got
right
families, friends, fans.
now. Yeah. Are they pumped up like you are?
Yeah.
Do you think you got it for them?
What do you think, guys?
All right. Who are you working with today?
Claro. Oh, this is brother.
This is your brother. All right, another brother team here. This is going to be turning into a real family event. You'll notice we got all of the brick piles. The material boards are stacked and just about loaded. We've got a lot of brick for each one of these guys. Each one of these stalls has about 1,000+ brick in them. We've seen 1,000 blown in over an hour, but sometimes you go too fast. Again, those deductions come up. All right, I think we are fully loaded, locked and loaded here.
Officially to start. So travels up once more. It won't be live this time. So travels up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
All right, 60 minutes and counting. Let's see how this works out. Surprisingly, it looks like 90% of the groups are starting on the right side. Not exactly sure why, just a big coincidence, I guess. So, I can't talk all day. I can't give you every little nuance myself. We needed some experience here, and we brought in the team, Mr. Jim Patches.
How you doing, Sean?
Hey, glad you're here, man.
Hey.
Appreciate it.
Glad to be here. Glad to be helping you guys out today. We're going to have a great day. We've got great weather. We've got a great competition with a lot of experienced bricklayers here that have competed in it. We got some champions here.
Yep.
You got Langer over here. You've got the Byers brothers, and you got Ray. Get Ray down in stall 10, I think he is. So
We got Ray Merrill and Ray Byers.
Okay.
A couple of Rays down there. Here's Ray Merrill right here.
We got some Rays and Johnnies competing. We've got some brothers competing, much like we had down in Philly. You remember that one, right? With the Bichetti brothers.
Oh, we're going to talk about the Philly event because a lot of the people that are with us right now have been analyzing this data
Okay.
and actually studying their competition. How do you win it? Yeah, you got to be a great mason, but also study the weakness of your competition. That's what these guys do.
Yep.
And they pick up a lot of key pointers.
There's a lot of experience out here in the field today, Sean. We've got guys that have been here 30, 40 years, some guys that own their own company, guys that have done this since high school, trade school. There's a lot of experience in the field today. So we're going to have a great day, great event. Looking forward to seeing some brick getting laid today.
Well, let's start all the way down here. Just take a glimpse, and then we'll get an overall look at what we've got coming up. Right now, every team is working on leads. If you have not seen this event before, or even seen a masonry wall go up, it all starts with what we call a lead. So that means they're going to build up one side of their wall and actually tie a line to it.
You got Lonnie back here. You can see him. He's got a couple of leads started there.
Well, let's go over and check it out. Stall 12. We got Lonnie.
Back here, you got Lonnie.
Lonnie's
He
working.
competed last year.
How did he do last year?
He took fifth.
He took 5th place.
He took fifth place.
He obviously was not happy with that because he is back again. Lonnie, he's working on his first lead.
Yep.
Once he gets this side done, he's going to run over to the other side and build another lead and then stretch a line. Now, the leads take a lot longer to build than those brick in the middle because he's having to use a level.
Correct.
If they don't use a level, they can kind of get all out of sorts, and then
Out
they
of
get
square, out of
deductions.
plumb.
Yep.
And those things, you talk about the, the pins there for setting the lead. So, but Lonnie here, he's been in the business for 35 years. So as we were talking earlier about experience, right? He's one of the guys, he's one of the veterans here. And he's certainly looking to improve on that last year 5th place performance. I'm sure he's going to be looking to try and book his ticket to Vegas this year.
Well, I tell you, right now, these guys just came out of the gates. We have to be careful of where we're standing because there's a lot of stuff going on. It's not just Lonnie working. He's got his tender behind him. And notice something here. They had all of these stalls set up in just a perfect way. I thought they were good to go, Jim.
Right.
Why is he changing it now?
So what he's trying to do is set it up for for the mason so that when he turns to grab a brick, it's right where he wants it. So
that's a pretty cool strategy right there. So he busted down all those square piles, turned them on their end, and also on an angle. Now I'm guessing that's, like you said, Lonnie, he prefers it that way. He's going to be faster, and it's his tender. This is a team event, and you see how this teamwork goes.
So it's all about the strategy, right? You see what Lonnie and his tender are doing, and you look up here, I think that's the Fire Brothers up there, installed 10, and they've kept that original configuration up on the boards.
We're going to have to go see which method is maybe working better today.
Well, we're going to find out in about an hour, aren't we?
Take a look. This is a 26-foot, 8-inch wall. Lonnie is spreading it all. That's not common in the industry. Normally, they're only doing about 4 or 5 feet because then they got to get that brick put in while the mortar's still pliable. Well, he's making an aggressive approach right here, spreading out that entire wall. You know what? He must have the confidence that he's going to be able to fill that in before that mortar starts to set up.
Well, and you think about it, Sean, right? Because he's going to go down there and he's going to set the other leads down there. So rather than waste the time in walking down there, right, might as well throw mud down.
You know what? That's an excellent point, Jim. I mean, it's wasted motion, right?
Absolutely.
So he's using every little bit that he can. Even just going from one end of the wall to the other, he's utilizing that time.
Absolutely. Talk about being as efficient as possible, right? We got an hour to lay as many bricks as we can.
Yep. And right now we're only 5 minutes in. So for the next probably 5 to 10 minutes, I'm guessing they're going to keep working on their leads. We want to come over here.
Yep, that's just the Byers brothers.
Team Fire.
Ray and Adam.
Now,
the vendor's Ray, and his brother Adam is tending for him. So they come from the Pittsburgh area, and one of them works for Arch Mason, and the other one works for Marshall.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Different companies, but they come together today.
Absolutely.
Made it all the way out here to Succossana, New Jersey. Ruther's Material.
What a great spot.
Yeah, this is an amazing spot. I mean, not only the location, we've got everything that you could possibly need, but the host group. I mean, they have set us up with a lot of support, a lot of materials needed to make this event go off.
No doubt. Great host. Great host.
So we were talking down at Lonnie's wall. He built a lead on the one side, and now he's working on the other. Well, Ray here is actually, he made a smaller lead. He only has a 4-course lead. This event is all about strategy, and we're going to talk a lot about the strategies. One of them is the size of your lead. Jim, I had mentioned to you that the more time that you spend building a lead, the less time you have putting in those money brick. Ray is laying up those money brick right now. See that line stretched all the way across there? Look how fast these brick go in.
So you were talking a little earlier that a lot of the competitors were starting out on the near side. Right here, he started out on the overhand side to lay that, right?
He did. Strategy. Ray's going out. Oftentimes the back side is the weaker side for the mason. So he's trying to get that out of the way first. He's coming to the end. This is another critical point. He's coming up to the end. These guys are not allowed to make clips. They can't cut their brick. He's got to make this last closure brick actually fit in there perfect. Look at that.
And keep the right head joint space, right?
Well, I think I just heard a little happiness there. He hit it. He hit his marks. He hit his bond. He was on. Now look how fluid. He's moving back to the front side. This is money.
no wasted motion, right? You watch him. He lays that brick, cuts it, brings it up, pop, hits the head joint, gets another brick.
Just to get over the top of it, just a little bit. See that full bed of mortar? There's no furrowing here. So what he's able to do is when he has enough mortar in there that when he pushes down on that brick, gets it to his line, all of that overflow mortar, he picks right up and he uses that for his head joint. That is efficient movements right there.
Absolutely, no wasted motion, right?
And again, we've got the brick stacks that have been turned in just such a way that it's convenient for him. This is a team we need to keep an eye on, Jim.
I think so.
They've been around.
It's still early. We still got a couple more stalls to check out, but Ray's in a nice position.
We've been spending a lot of time down this end. What do you say we go for a walk all the way up the other side, come back down, see how they're doing up on that north end.
All right.
We're taking this little slow walk.
Shout out to all the competitors out here. Okay.
Jim, we're in the middle of this busy set.
Let's show them a little bit.
We got mud tubs that are being pushed all around because these guys are burning up mortar fast.
Look at that. That tub's almost empty, Sean.
Looks like you guys would be good. More headache.
So we're here in stall 7, Sean. So you got Jesus Gomez.
Okay. And it's his brother.
Right, they're brothers.
They are brothers.
And,
it's their first year competing.
Right.
I actually got to visit with the Scalero company just a few weeks ago, and they said, yeah, we got a team. We're sending them all the way down to New Jersey. They come from up in New England.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In the Massachusetts market. They've come down here today to show what they have. First year competing, though.
Correct. Now, I understand that Jose may have competed as a tender.
Oh, did he?
I believe so. I mean, we can go down and check that out, but I believe he competed as a tender. Now, this year, he's going to compete. He's going to go put his skills to the test today.
I gotcha. So it looks like he's constructing about a 3-course lead right now, but a little bit different. He made his lead a little bit longer. That does make that lead more stable. When they put that line up there, they want that line nice and tight. And by having a longer lead, it does make that more stable. However, it takes more time to build it. So, is that worth the risk? We'll find out. It's all strategy.
And then we'll find out how he's going to infill what you call the money brick, right?
That's right.
All right, Sean. I'm going to follow you around here. We'll get you in the camera.
Now, we haven't even talked about Johnny Lennon yet. Look what's happening, Jim.
Wow.
He's got some big leads up, and they're both done. He's on to the money brick.
All right. And Johnny, former champion?
Johnny Lennon, former champion from the 2020 event. That earned him a spot at the national event, where he represented the Northeast. He did a bang-up job there.
All right, let's get in tight, check out some of his style and his workmanship here.
Now, sometimes people call him Mr. Pick and Dip. Johnny, come on, we've got to let people know about what the pick and dip is.
This is what I was taught, so I didn't know it was any different than the traditional or conventional way. But I'm glad to see it's being used elsewhere. Give a shout out to the guy that won Philadelphia.
Oh, here it's starting. Mr. Buschetti, yes.
Mr. Phil.
He also did the pick and dip.
Uh-oh, what's that going on back there?
There's Mike too.
Well, we got some fans here today, huh?
I think maybe part of Johnny's strategy is to distract the others.
Oh, would that be intimidation?
They're all... never mind.
I know I would be intimidated if I was in the stalls next to him. Jim, I want to focus in on something here. We don't want to get down here too far. We want to stay out of people's way. But if you notice, Johnny's actually got a stack. Now we allow the teams to set up a starter course, 1 course of brick in advance, and then they lay on top of them.
Good at giving away all my secrets.
Right now he's doing a stack bond. And that's going to allow him to stay on bond easier. Sorry, Johnny, it's out there.
I don't know.
We were talking about Ray Byers down there, how he hit his mark on the bond. We're going to watch Johnny here throw these last 3 brick in on this backside. And by doing that stack bond on the first course, boom, it's going to be easy. It's going to fit perfect because he can see right below where he needs to be.
Out of your way, Sean. Watch it. Watch it back.
I don't know if anybody watching this has ever danced on a freeway. That's what Jim and I are trying to do right now. So Johnny made it up that backside, blew it in. Johnny is one of the only masons that I know that feels that his backside is faster than his front side.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean, most masons, they say it's always the front
Right.
because you can see more of the brick.
Exactly.
And in the traditional sense, I'm going backwards. Normally they lay the other way down the wall.
Well, you're bringing up
Left to right.
it's a really good point. A port sider or a left-handed mason, which way does he typically go?
Yeah, right-hander usually goes left to right.
And a right-hander, the opposite, obviously. So you are going against you're going against the grain right now. Johnny, you know the camera's going to be on you here quite a bit.
All right.
We're going to go check out some of the other action.
That's it, because he got the target on his back. He's a former champion.
Look at that. He's sporting those block loader ripstop pants. They are fantastic. They are comfy.
Oh, they're great. He loves them. He particularly likes the pocket, the ventral pocket.
Some people call him Jonathan Guzzi. Some people shorten it to just John, maybe Mr. Guzzi.
I like Mr. Guzzi, yeah.
I'll be calling you Mr. Guzzi today because I think you've got something to bring it today, don't you?
Oh, every year. Every year.
Well, you know, Mr. Guzzi is like one of 4 Johns today, so I guess he would want to be Mr. Guzzi.
That's
Separation, right?
That's right. Concentrating on that lead. He's not yet to those money brick that we have talked about. He just stared on the end of this, and that just looks like a long way away to lay brick all the way down there. These guys are flying.
So, Sean, Jonathan, Mr. Guzzi, has been in the business for 28 years.
28 years of masonry experience.
4 years competing.
You know, it's just like riding a bicycle. Doesn't forget it. These guys still do practice, even though he's got, what did you say, 28 years? They're going to actually practice oftentimes on the leads. This is where an event can be won or lost. You see Mr. Guzzi's using that stabila level. He's using it as a straight edge and a plumb right there.
So, and also, he's got some family in the masonry business, Sean.
Oh, does he?
And he's got an uncle in Washington State that owns a business out there.
Do they do masonry the same way? They lay brick the same way in Washington State? It's a long way away.
Right? He's a big stone guy. He does a lot of stone work.
Mr. Guzzi, how many times have you competed here now?
4th year.
4th year. Well, you have drawn the stall right next to the past champion.
I know it.
Let's not get nervous on it. You bring it to him. He's going to be staring at you the whole time, so he might be at the disadvantage.
Yeah, that's right.
Good luck to you, John.
As always, man.
Jim, who do we have up here? We're all the way up at the front of the stalls in stall number 3. Mr. Jamie Weekland, I believe.
Absolutely right. He's the owner of Tri-County Masonry.
He's owner, operator, installer.
He's been in the trade since high school, since he left high school. Wow. That was only a couple years ago, right, Jamie?
Yep.
See, Jamie actually went ahead. He's got that stack bond going on that first course as well. That allows him to stay on bond. That's completely within the rules. Now, as he gets to his second course, that's going to switch, and he's going to go to half bond, running bond. But right now, this is saving him time and keeping his wall accurate.
So, Sean, can you talk to us? I see he's got some twigs going here. You want to talk about what they are and how they're being used?
Absolutely. That's a great observation there. Figure out everything that they can to actually go faster, less movements. One of the things, they have a front side and a back side of the wall.
Okay.
Well, normally they would actually have two different string lines, but in this case, we're going to see it here in just a minute. As Jamie closes out and puts his closure brick in, he's going to have to raise that line. Now, when he raises that line, watch closely. Right next to the lead, he's going to lift it all in one motion. That's moving the front and back side of the lead at the same time. What is that doing? Saving time, Jim.
Yep. Okay.
See that? Both sides of the line are up in one fluid motion. Now, we've seen this in past events. It's a pretty common practice. It's actually used out in the industry on like parapet walls where they're building double wide walls. Jamie, you think all that experience that you have, company ownership, commitment to the industry, do you think it's going to bring it home for you today?
I'm hoping.
So just also to let you know, Jamie placed 4th in this competition and has competed for 4 years at the Bricklayer Show. Again, talk about experience in the competition. We've got a lot of guys here that have competed.
How many years experience does he have with our event here?
He's
4 years?
4 years.
4 years.
And he's placed 4th. I don't know if it was last year, but I think it was. And he's got 2 small sons that he says he's bringing up in the business.
Oh.
He said they're future bricklayers.
Some moms say, you know what, don't get your hands dirty. Jamie is obviously taking a different approach. He's spreading both the front and back side of the wall at the same time. That's risky. The longer that mortar sits out there with a little wind blowing over it, the faster it'll set up and the harder to get that brick into position. But also, it's saving motion. Now he's got both sides spread, he's going to work down.
And we've seen that where they're efficiently just placing the brick down, cutting it, and then coming back and swiping the head joint all in one motion.
That's right. He's using that excess mortar and hitting his nets. I'm going to come back here a little bit. I want you to see Jamie's head. Jamie's head is staying on his wall all the time. It's not coming up. Oh, it just popped up there for a minute. See how he's reaching back and he's grabbing those brick? He has them positioned by his tender in just that way where he can grab them without even turning around. He's focused. He's getting a lot of units in the wall this way.
And you can see having that string line, how he can just put that brick right down, press it down, keep that height to make sure he keeps his bed height.
That's right. Also, when we came over to Jamie's wall here earlier, we had noticed that he was doing that stack bond approach. Now, he's back onto half bond. So, now he's got to line up to the center of the brick below. It's a little bit more challenging, and it can cost a little time. We're going to see what happens here as he gets down to his closure, the closure being the last brick.
Yep, it's be interesting to see how that comes out. How this strategy will pay off for Jamie.
Just getting to it. 2 more brick to go.
Look at that.
Boom, he nailed it. You know how important that step is right there?
Oh,
These guys are only allowed a certain small tolerance for their head joints and their bed joints. We're going to talk about some of those tolerances a little bit later on.
when we get into the judging
Yep.
portion of the competition. But think about the time now. He doesn't have to go back and adjust the other brick to either open up or close that in.
That's right.
So again, about the precision and craftsmanship, knowing how to place your head joints in the wall, so when you get to the end, you've got the right spacing.
They're doing a bang-up job here. Mr. Pick and Dip himself. How do we not stop at this wall?
Wow. I don't know. That's looking pretty straight there, Sean. Not seeing any waves.
Jim, he's working on his third course right now. You see anyone else working on their third course yet?
Not so far. Maybe the Byers brothers down there, but I can't see them from here. Too far down there, so I'll have to go down.
I do remember that the Byers brothers, they only spotted themselves a 4-course lead. That means once they blow in 4 courses, they're going to have to build another one. Johnny? 7-course lead. If he blows in 7 courses, there's 80 brick per double wife. That would be 560 brick.
Ooh.
You know what 560 brick gets you?
That gets you a trip to Vegas, I think.
It could. It can also get you qualified for the SPEC Mix Craftsmanship Award.
Oh.
This isn't all about just speed. The winner, highest brick count with the least number of deduction with the adjusted grand total, he's going to be going and representing the
There's a
Northeast.
payout for that too, isn't there?
There is.
I think so.
Here today, $1,200 to the winner.
Wow. Is that total? Because I know we got some sponsorship from Ford.
Oh, of course.
You know, they're a big supporter of our event. No, not only on the regional level, but at the national level. And we have a gift certificate from BRICKLAYER, I think in the form of about $200.
I believe it's $250.
Okay.
Let me double check that figure. We're going to get back to you. That BRICKLAYER gift certificate is fantastic.
I love these pants.
How would you like to win that gift certificate from BRICKLAYER if you take first place?
That would be nice.
You get some more rip stops.
I was telling him a little earlier, Johnny, did you like the pencil pocket?
Yeah, there's a pencil pocket. As the pencil gets shorter, you put it in a different hole. You can keep grabbing it.
Worth every penny.
Oh, yeah. I didn't pay for it.
Hey, listen. I didn't think with the gift certificate.
Hey, Gene. Gene is actually tending here for Johnny. Filling in at the last minute. How you thinking it's going here, Gene?
I think it's going pretty well. I feel pretty confident, feel good. I know my dad feels good. Been ready for this for a long time. So we're all fired up, ready to go.
Is he tough to work for?
I won't say tough to work for. We just like to get the job done. And that's what we try to do every time. Good job.
Looks like you're doing a bang-up job.
So we've got a really interesting story that I'd like to share with you guys, Sean. So you got John LaChapelle here.
LaChapelle, yes, sir. It's not his first year, is it, Jay?
It's not his first year, but he started at the age of 18, and he's got about 43 years in the trade, and he took 3rd last year in this competition. So he's looking to step his game up and try and get to that finals, into the finals. There's a really interesting story when we were talking about it in the setup.
Before we get to that interesting story, I just want to take a moment and rest here. Watch him lay. Watch him lay those brick. But you see, look close. See some blood on his hands? You see some blood on his pants?
He's all in.
He's all in. He's committed. Masonry hardcore right there. You can't get there easily. Sacrifices, pain is temporary, pride is forever.
Absolutely. Great point, Sean. Great
Jim,
point.
share that story with us.
So we were setting up, getting the stalls done, and going around to talk to Johnny. He shared with me. I'd asked him some questions about anybody in the family and in the masonry trade, and he shared with me, and I'm glad that he did, that his father is a bricklayer, and he was deaf.
Really?
Yes, and back in his day, he may have been the only deaf bricklayer in the field. And he carries a picture of his grandfather in his bag. I'd like to show you that. So if you take a look, that's a picture of his father.
That's his toolbox right there.
He keeps it in his box
That is
of his
fantastic.
grandfather, and he's competing in his honor today.
That is a fantastic story. I
Isn't that
hope
cool?
this pans out. I want to share more of that here towards the end.
Cool. Well, we'll come back. We got plenty of time. We'll come back and visit this.
You know what we're coming up on right now, Jim? Halfway!
Uh-oh. We got an announcement coming?
All right, everybody, we're 30 minutes in, so you got 30 more minutes. 30-minute mark.
Let's go!
Let's hear it for everybody. Cheer them on. We've only got 30 more minutes.
Halfway through the initial 60 minutes. Like we had talked about, they get 60 minutes to plug in as many units as possible.
How did you know that? How could you possibly know that was 30 minutes in?
I'm a smart guy. I use my sundial, actually. Now, I snuck a peek at the watch. I'm
Okay.
actually keeping time here for myself. Miss Katie Knapp, she's keeping it for the rest of the audience here that's live with us here at Ruther's Material in Succassana, New Jersey.
Yeah, and the locals call her DJK.
DJK?
DJK.
That's DJK. All right, all right. You know, Jim, we can't put on events like this without big support. This is a qualifying event.
Mm-hmm.
That qualifier, again, is at the World of Concrete. That's coming up in January 2022. It's actually going to be SPEC Mix's 20th year.
Wow.
It's going to be a blowout party, let me tell you.
20 years, Sean.
20 years.
of bricklaying competition. That's a lot of brick. I'd hate to do the math on that one.
Honest to God, I would not want to lift all of those brick either. But we can't do it alone. We've got to have support from the industry. Groups like Belden, Steel, Stabila, Holman and Bernard. How about Ford? Ford's been rocking it with us. They have given us so much support over the years.
Hey, we've got a couple of those dump trucks in the back. At some point, we'll have to go back there and show that. But between their trucks and their local support, their national support, the $200, they stepped up this year and added another $200 gift certificate into the winner's bag. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
It doesn't. We do need to check out those Ford trucks that are over there. They brought us a couple of dump bodies to show some of the diversification that they have. Kubota's another huge one. Kubota jumped online with us here just a few years ago, and they have really brought it big time. We need groups like that. Multi-Quip, we're using Multi-Quip mixers today, and also their mortar tubs. We can't roll that SPEC Mix motor out without that Multi-Quip tub. Hydromobile, IQ Power Tools, these are some phenomenal outfits. Jim, we've been back over here at Eric's wall. Eric, remember? Mm-hmm. Him and his brother, they jumped in here last minute. They wanted to see if they have what it takes to be the next world champion. Eric, are you feeling okay?
I don't know, maybe. We'll see. That was a mistake. Don't put that on camera.
So, Eric, how long has it been since you've laid?
About 2-3 years in the field. Does it show?
And then you come right out into the competition.
We jump right into it. That's how we do it, church, baby.
Love it.
Up, backwards. Nervous.
Keep busting it out, Eric.
Up this.
Uh-oh. Maybe we go down this way first and then come back up and check on the Byers
Go down and
brothers.
check Lonnie out, see how Lonnie's making out. He's down here all by
Oh.
himself. It's kind of quiet in the shade.
Look at this.
Look,
I see
we
four
got four.
courses already blown up. He's going to finish out this front half, and that'll be 4 complete courses.
That's 320 bricks.
You are a mathematician. Yes, if you didn't catch that, there are 80 brick per full completed double wife. Easy way to keep track. If you're watching from home, if maybe you don't have the audio on. This wall looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. This is the overhand side. We can't even see this side.
Lonnie, how are you feeling? The masonry trade is not an easy one. There are countless people that we might have strong backs, but once in a while they give us a little extra fatigue. I think Lonnie's dealing with that today. He is hustling pretty hard. If you can imagine these guys laying 500 and more brick in an hour, that's 60 minutes. Many masons don't lay that in an 8-hour day. These guys are busting it out in 60 minutes. Jim, this is insane. It's intense. You think you could do it?
No. Absolutely not. I mean, the skill and technique that these guys have, unreal. I mean, and you look at something like the average age, the average.
Do we know what the average age is?
I don't. We've got some youth in here, but some experienced youth, and then we've got some older guys as well that've got 40 plus years. So, if I were going to just spitball this, it's got to be an easy 25 years experience, I would think, on average.
I would have to agree with you. This is not for the first year apprentice. But you know what, Jim? Something we didn't talk about?
What's that?
Well, a first-year apprentice cannot come out here and just lay out that many brick that fast, right?
Right.
But we need to create a new generation of masonry, don't we?
I think so. Don't we have something here today?
Well, I might have heard something about maybe a SPEC Mix Bricklayer 500 junior event. That's right.
That's right.
We are going to have 6 teams actually competing in a modified version of this big event. It's going to be their first go at it. These apprentices have been watching this online. They've been studying. They have aspirations. And they want to see if they have what it takes to get it in. Ray, can I say booyah? You nailed the bond on that one. He's off and running. Ray is doing a single line front and back. He's not using that special trig.
Nope.
Let's walk down here, watch him spread this wall out here.
And you can see how it comes. You got the mortar boards all loaded up, ready to go. Shaking the butt up, making sure it's fresh.
That is a lot of spec mixed mortar they are moving around, Jim. It's got some nice hue to it. Thank you, Prism Pigment, for hooking us up with this colored mortar. I'm starting to hear some chatter among the other teams, a little communication. Mason and Tenners are constantly communicating.
We've got all kinds of stuff going on back there. We've got all the families out there. We've got food back there cooking.
Is that what I smell?
That's what you smell.
It is making me hungry. This cannot be good for the Masons to smell great hot dogs and sausages being cooked up. They're cooking up a couple of steaks for the winter, boys.
I see Bill and Pick over there. We'll have to stop by and see them for a moment. Because they're another big supporter of ours, making sure that all the Masons are getting 2-foot levels.
That's right. You're absolutely correct, Jim. Stabila has been supporting the industry and our event in particular for a number of years. They're handing out a 2-foot level to every competing team here today.
Absolutely. And the juniors.
Juniors, they are first, second, and third place juniors are actually getting an 8-inch Stabila level. An 8-inch Stabila level may sound small, but it fits right in the back of your pocket, and it is ideal when you're doing some setup work out in the field. You gotta get that first course in there nice, square, plumb, and true. and you could get it done with that Stabilo level.
Absolutely. Great stuff. Great support year in and year out.
Let's take a pan around here. See if we could sight that smell.
Yeah, that's where we need smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision.
Shout out to Debbie in North Stonington.
Oh, that's right, Debbie, North Stonington. We understand you are watching us live. We appreciate you lending Sam and his years of experience to help us come out and actually judge today. Thank you out there in North Stonington. Felipe, everything going as planned?
I think so. Let's do this.
Does he have any additional chatter today, or is he keeping quiet?
Super quiet. Super quiet.
Is that just because he is concentrating?
Absolutely.
Just finished spreading out that 26.5-foot wall there. Raised his line, and he's back flying the other direction, installing that back side.
All right,
first.
we've got less than 20 minutes. Less than 20 . So you guys need to eat anything? There's stuff out back. If you haven't done the cornhole game yet for the TV, definitely hit that up. Or the raffle, just let us know if you haven't signed up for that for the TV. We've got less than 20 minutes now.
So you can see he's loading up all the boards because Ray just got done spreading all that much. Now he's going to go back and fill those boards up so when he comes back the other way, he's got plenty of that SPEC mix mud on the board.
That's right. We're also using Gatorback mortarboards here today. Town is a supplier of the Gatorback mortarboards.
Come on, guys, finish strong.
Many other masons prefer the Gatorback mortarboard over anything else because traditionally wooden mortarboards, that was the norm,
right?
But water would actually absorb into that wood and actually dry out the mortar faster. That just costs time. Time is money, Jim.
Absolutely. That's what this competition is all about, just like in the field.
Starting to see some of the sweat dripping off of Ray's face. We're over halfway.
Yeah, it looks like the sun is going in for just a moment, but it's a warm day here in Succossana, New Jersey, at the Ruther Materials.
Jose and his brother, I tell you what, they're not disappointing for their first outing, Jim. For their first event here, Jose and his brother, they're knocking it out, man. Right? They're keeping up with them.
So he's trying to get his quick set, pull his line. Another good example.
No, Jim, I hope we were not bad luck. If you noticed, Jose took a lot of extra time there to set that trig in place. Time is money. That costed him units right there. If you watch how long it took him to actually get that line moved up.
Right.
Well, you know, being his first year, he might be a little nervous.
Exactly.
He's going to watch this video and say, yeah, I got to fix that for next year.
Absolutely. It's the first year at Anthem. He's got a lot of pressure on him, right? He's got a lot of experience in the field, so, you know, he'll get it. He'll get it.
Come on, Johnny, pick it up!
That's a mission.
What do you think? Should we check in on this?
Wait a second. I hear something. What's that noise?
Was that a train that I just heard behind me? A train of Leningrad fans. There they are, right there.
Let's go, Johnny, come on! Let's go, brother. Speed. Speed.
All right. So, Luke, how are you doing, man? I got the camera over here on Johnny in the background, but I wanted to talk with you for a minute. Now, you busted up your leg pretty good. You're hobbling around on some crutches there. Now, you've supported Johnny in victories. I mean, you brought it home. So is this going to change up Johnny's plan for today?
No, I don't think so. We have a good system going. We've been doing this for a number of years, so Johnny has the whole plan set up. The tender this year was instructed very well, so he looks like he's doing very, very well at the moment. Actually, I think he's actually in the lead. So as long as we don't have any major brick deductions, and in the end, it looks like we should be able to take it home and go back to Vegas, baby.
So did you give some of those pointers and instructions for Gene, who was filling in for you?
Of course, yeah, I did. For the last 4 months or so, we've been doing like some practices here and there and going over the procedures and the correct way to do everything. So hopefully it turns out well today and we come home with a victory.
Awesome. Hey, Luke, wishing you well. Get some rest. Get off those crutches, man. We want to see you back in Las Vegas here soon.
All right,
thanks, man.
Thank you, Sean.
Mr. Pick and Dip. Let's get back in here. I want to find out more about this whole Mr. Buschetti out of the Philadelphia market. Jim, I got to work with you down at that event, and it was a phenomenal event. We had some great victors that came out of that one, some great stories. You can read about those stories at specmakes.com and follow the whole regional series. But one of the things that came out of it was Mr. Buschetti actually researched Johnny Leningrad and the pick and dip method. Now, he did not normally do that in his normal training.
Right.
That wasn't what he was accustomed to, but he's like, I've seen Johnny do it. He can get the units in the wall that way, and he did it faster than what he felt he could do normally. So with that, Phil actually changed his technique, which is a left-handed person writing right-handed. It's just not an easy thing to do. He did it, and he won the event in Philly. It was amazing.
Yep. Him and his brother Nick.
Him and his brother Nick.
So they were pretty proud to represent Philadelphia. Also coming from the Williamson Trade School down there.
That's right.
Gotta give a shout out to those guys. In the junior competition, Williamson took first and third in that competition.
Well,
it was kind of a Williamson sweep of the Philadelphia
It sounds
event.
like it. Those are our future Masons. We had talked about it here briefly, that junior bricklayer, which is going to be coming up here in not too long. We're going to actually change our camera, do a 180, and go check out that event here. But we just want to follow Johnny here for a little bit.
Absolutely. Kind of stay here on the Bricklaying.
That's right. In your face,
these guys go.
There was an interesting similarity that I learned from that Philly event.
What's that, Sean?
Phil and Nick. I could walk up to them. They were comfortable while the event was going on. They're installing the brick, but they were able to talk with me and communicate. It's like it didn't even bother them. They were just laying brick one after another. They were still able to focus but carry on a conversation. You know what? That's not very normal. You know what else? Or know who else has that talent? I think this guy right here. Johnny, you're listening to us, aren't you?
Yeah, my dad taught me to work and talk at the same time. I was standing there, he said, you can work too.
Well, I tell you what, I have a hard time chewing bubblegum and walking, so that's why I had to spit my bubblegum out.
Well, earlier I gave you some credit for knowing that we were about 30 minutes in or about halfway through. So I'm going to let you kind of know that we're down to about 12 minutes.
Whoa.
We're getting down to the nitty-gritty part of this competition, so,
12 minutes to go. That means they got to reach deep in the burner here to bring it home. Johnny, we're keeping an eye on you.
Katie's going to be making an announcement here and letting everyone know where we're at. So this is the time they're going to start start filling this stuff in.
I'll try and stay
These walls in.
staying out of everybody's way here. Mr. Guzzy's blowing them in still. He's working on the front half of it. Looks like his third, fourth course right now. He's up to a really comfortable working height. Those first couple of courses, they gotta bend over further and further. So it's really an advantage. The more brick they get in and the higher up they go, the easier it is on the back.
Hey, Sean, this is still really anybody's competition. I mean, you take a look down here and look at some of these wall heights. It's going to be a close competition.
It is absolutely going to be a close competition.
And it's really going to come down to judging.
What are some of the criteria that is going to separate the winner from second or maybe third or fourth place?
So those criteria are really going to be your bed joints, your head joints, and
we've got 4.
those are the ones that I find that are going to really make the difference, because you can have multiple ones in the wall, and those
So Marshalltown,
at the end. And you can really separate whether you finish in first or third.
Very true. We speak with the teams before the event actually starts. We go through some of the rules. We let them know that those deductions can be a cost you the title for the day. So one little mistake can knock them out of the captain's chair down below.
To watching it on live stream.
That's right. Big difference between watching live and live stream, huh, Jim?
Absolutely. So, it's. I mean, you're talking. Most of these guys are going to have 500 brick in the wall, and they've got to make sure that every single one of them are at the right height, right width, level, plumb.
It got a little quieter over here. Our mudslingers have been mixing a lot of SPEC mix mortar using that multi-equip mixer, man. It is a beast hydraulic mixer, man. One mixer is keeping up with this entire event. Used in conjunction with the SPEC Mix gravity-fed silo, man, it's awesome. Now we just saw Jamie sprint down to the end here. He knows it's crunch time. It's go or go home. Oh, here's a great one. Look what's happening right now. I think this is what's going to happen, Jim.
Talk to me, Sean.
We're going to find out, though. We got about 9-10 minutes to go in this event. Mm-hmm. Well, with only 9 to 10 minutes to go, these guys need to finish within 2 courses of their last completed double life. So they want to spend the end of the event where they're most efficient and faster. Jamie's laying the front of the wall now, where earlier he was laying the back of the wall.
Oh, great observation, Sean.
So I'm going to guess here that Jamie is going to lay another course on top of here, but in the front of the wall. And again, he is maximizing his efforts, staying within the rules, but get the highest count possible. Look at this. Boom. 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 That's right. Click, click, bang, folks. That's how you get it done. In your face masonry. Jamie, we're watching you. You're doing a great job, buddy.
Speed, go. Make your son proud!
Doing a slow walk here.
Yeah.
Let's go, Johnny. Come on, brother.
Let's see if anyone else is actually following suit to Jamie there. See if maybe they're starting to concentrate on some of their strengths.
Johnny, go!
Jonathan LaChapelle, watch, you got some mortar coming by. They're trying to get all this mortar out here. It's going to be a bad rush to the finish line here, Sean.
We got another strategy here.
Talk to me. What do you think?
Jose's got it. So he realizes it's coming down to the end of the event. Jose is not putting a brick on the very end. He's not taking the time to use the level. He's racking back. That
Okay.
allows him to put money brick right in right away without having to pick up that stabila level. He's trying to maximize his efforts as well.
Here, Johnny, quick, right here, right here.
Yep. Jim, we're seeing it again. Ray
Right.
Merrill's wall coming down. He's concentrating his efforts on the front.
Would you think he's competed here a time or two?
I think he's got some past tricks. Yeah. Maybe some experiences learned the hard way.
Right.
These guys practice, they communicate. Felipe, his mason tender, is probably keyed him in, hey, Ray, you got to get to the front side now. It's time to go.
Right. Good point, Sean.
Scoping down here. Still keeping on. Still keeping on Ray's wall. On the very far side of Ray's wall, he is also racking back. Another way to maximize the last few minutes of the event.
We've got an announcement coming here. I'm going to guess, what, about 5 minutes?
All right, guys, you got 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, and it's going to be travels down.
Jim,
Shout out to our local sponsors. Our host
What are you
today,
thinking, Sean?
the awesome Ruther Material Company. Giving us this area to handle this. Thank you very much. We got Lafarge Wholesome Cement, Spalding Brick, and DeSandro and Sons Masonry, who donated us the brick today.
So another
We got
strategy here,
Boozy,
huh, Sean?
the MCAC.
that's right.
Prosecco.
Capitalizing on it.
MCANJ, Speedy Masons, which you can find right over there, and Rawson Materials. Thank you guys for helping us put on this local event.
Now,
So now how many courses can they go above the final double course?
they can keep laying as many courses as they want above that last completed double wife, but the problem is they don't count for anything. He knows this. He knows this.
Okay.
He's got his timing dialed in. He's making the last minute adjustments. We might see him actually throwing a couple of last minute brick. But look, he's utilizing the last 4 minutes of this event to square up any possible deductions. He wants to make it look perfect. He knows that if you have a deduction, it's going to cost you. So he's taking this extra time. He's got his stabila level in hand. He's re-squaring up his lead in case it's shifted at all. Sometimes the brick, if they carry a lot of water, these leads can swim. So to avoid that, square it up, give it a check at the end.
So then when you say swim, Sean, for everybody watching, what do you mean by swim?
Swimmers is a term that's used by a mason when a brick doesn't want to absorb water, so it just kind of floats on the mortar itself. And as you lay course over course over course, it starts to get a little wishy-washy, kind of goes in and out. They call those swimmers. On the reverse, there are also brick that suck up so much water so fast, they're oftentimes like a common brick, they're like a sponge. So you can only lay 2 or 3 brick before you're having to actually strike that joint. So Jim, we saw that Ray went through, he made his adjustments,
Right.
He's happy with his wall. Now he's gonna go, he's gotta reach over and lay down over 2 courses to get a couple more brick. But he made sure his wall was accurate before he got to this point.
Right.
Smart play.
So all the deductions that we talked about earlier, right?
That's right.
So now you can get the numbers, but if they're deducted, so that's going to make the difference in who's going to win this competition here today, Sean.
Well, we are seeing some tall walls. Ray Byers has got a really good wall going. Looks good. Ray Merrill's wall, always impressive. Ray Merrill's also in the same situation. He's reaching over the front, laying to the back, but 2 courses down. That's not an easy thing to do. Harder to see your bed joint and to see if you're having any errors. Bed joints is one of the criteria. Head joints, tip brick,
Go, Johnny, quick.
lip brick.
Let's go right
We
now.
have a whole arsenal of rules that they have to follow.
But 2 minutes left.
they're going to take a break here in just a little bit. They're going to have that 5-minute break and come back and actually do some tooling.
Okay.
During that time, we're going to take you over to one of the walls that was constructed to show those errors in the judging criteria.
Okay. So we're coming down to within the final 2 minutes.
Is it the last 2 minutes?
Come on, Johnny, let's go! It's countdown time! Let's go! Push it, push it, push it!
I don't know if you can tell us the last 2
go,
minutes.
Johnny, come on!
The crowd is getting a little lively here.
30 seconds. 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Come on, countdown time! Push it! Let's go!
All right, guys, we got 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Last 30 seconds. Watch these people move here. Jamie Weekland making those last minute adjustments. Of course, he knows how valuable these last seconds are. He's making some adjustments.
Countdown!
8 seconds.
Come on, Johnny, push!
Johnny Landgraf, he's pushing it right to the end.
Let's go, Johnny, go, go!
3,
20, one more, one more!
Wow. Wow.
Good job. Let's go, guys. Nice.
That was intense. That was 60 minutes of rock and roll masonry right there. How cool was that? These guys got to be exhausted. They're going to get an opportunity, get a drink of water. Then they're going to come back in and actually start doing some striking, which we'll talk about that in a minute, what it is, how it benefits the mason, what it does to the appearance. But look at this. All those gentlemen in red and ladies that are helping us judging this year, they're moving right in. They're not wasting any time. They're going to use this 5 minutes and start doing, what are they doing during this part?
So what they'll do now is they'll go into the stalls and count the bricks, Sean. So as we've got a number of criteria that we'll use to, judge the final winner, this is one of them. How many brick did they lay? So we'll go in with the judges will go in and take a count.
Now, do they have to count every brick?
No, Sean, if we know that there are 40 brick on each side, right? 82 a course, count the courses, right?
That's right.
And then from there, fill in with the numbers above the course here.
That seems like an easy, efficient way to do it. They went through a
And that's why I'm
lot.
over here helping you.
They went through a lot of more. That's right, Jim. You don't want to. I would have to take my shoes off and start counting toes.
Exactly.
We had a great crowd on hand here today. Taking a look at these multi-quick mixers that we use throughout the day. SPEC mixed gravity fed G7000 silos.
So, Jim, we're going to leave like 2 or 3 behind.
Take a look at this. We got juniors. Oh, this is an excellent opportunity right here. Future of masonry, ladies and gentlemen. They are going through a little training program right now, a little rules meeting. They are getting ready to run their little mini session themselves. Jim, this is awesome. We walked over just at the best time.
Check this out, huh? Here's the future of masonry.
That's right.
These are the guys we need. So they're the future bricklayers that we're going to be looking forward to meeting in this competition.
It's a little bit different setup. This concept is the same, but it is smaller. As we look back here, we actually had some walls pre-constructed for them. This way they can string a line to those blocks. Now they've laid brick before, but they haven't been doing it for very long. This is a little bit easier, so they don't have to mess around with the level at this point. Until they develop those skills, we just want to get them laying to the line. But how many can they lay? So we got our SPEC Mix representative over there, Rob DePhillips, SPEC Mix salesman out of Northeast Pennsylvania. He's over here. He's actually doing the training, giving the rules and the guidelines for this event, answering any questions that they might have.
And for a lot of these kids, these are maybe the first time they've competed in such a competition.
Yep.
So they're going to be a little nervous, right? Big stage, competition, right?
Let's go find out if we got any nervous members. So we got some juniors over here. Who do we have here?
John Bobstein.
John, where are you from?
California, New Jersey.
Calhoun, New Jersey. How far away is that? It sounds like it's a gazillion miles away.
It's like 25, 30 minutes I think it took me to get here.
So you're competing in the SPEC Makes Junior Bricklayer 500. First time doing it, right?
First time.
All right. So I see you got your stick rule out. You're going to mark out some heights, maybe?
Yeah, I was going to mark out 6s just so I could pump up my line fast.
Okay. Have you practiced at all for this? I mean, you knew that you were going to be coming here, or did you maybe just think up a strategy?
Kind of just going to go with it. I mean, I played a little brick on the job, and this doesn't seem like it's too far-fetched.
You think you got a shot at taking that first place?
We'll see. I mean, there's only 5 of us.
Hey,
it's 105.
we wish you the best. There is $150 at stake here for the winner of the event. Also getting a block ladder gift certificate.
Correct, and I believe that's 152, Sean.
$150 as well?
Like the junior, I believe the junior gets 150.
Plus the Stabila group, they're giving the winner
A 2-foot level.
Nope, they're actually getting that 8-inch
right.
level. Again, it's such a unique level, but it works perfect for the masonry trade.
Yeah, speaking of Stabila, there they are.
Our Stabila group, they've got a lot of different items. They've got every tool that you need, whether you're lasering long distance or if you're working in tight quarters with just that 8-inch. We got some other people up there. They're taking advantage of some food. There we go. More junior bricklayers. You guys ready to go?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
All right.
We look forward to seeing this here. Impress us.
May want to work our way back because pretty soon they're going to be back in their stalls.
I think you're right, Jim. Looks like they're moseying back over. These guys in blue, masons and tenders.
Getting a little refreshed. So Sean, in this phase of the competition, what are they working on?
Well, right now it looks like John's working on a rest. How are you feeling now? I don't know if you could hear us, but Jim had shared a pretty cool story about your history, your family. I was thrilled. It gave me chills to hear that story. Now, I can't sit here and take up too much of your time, but again, I want to see one thing here. Let me see these hands. Let me see these hands. These are the hands of a mason, folks. It's not for the weak of heart. Hey, you're doing a great job. You've got a few minutes. You're going to go back in there and you're going to strike some stuff up. Bring it home for us.
So Sean, before we got talking to John, what are we going to step into in this part of the competition?
That's right. We're going to come up to the striking part of it.
Okay.
We're not going to let the cat out of the bag quite yet, though. If you will notice, a lot of these walls look unfinished. Now, there's no mortar hanging off because they have to make an active effort to cut off their mortar. Mm-hmm. But now we allow them a 20-minute window to go back and actually start striking their wall. Let's actually come over here and watch John. See how he does.
Are we good?
Now, they put a lot of brick in.
Let's go. 20 minutes on the clock.
Each brick has a head joint and a bed joint. The head joint is at the end of the wall. Head joints are the short ones that run vertical. Bed joints are the long ones that run horizontal. So you see John here? Mm-hmm. He's got a concave joiner. And from this distance, it actually looks like it's a barrel joiner. John, are you using a barrel joiner?
Yes, I am.
All right. Now, there's a couple different styles. A barrel joiner means it actually spins. It's a piece of metal that will spin. It gives it a little more flexibility to get in some of the tighter spots. More traditional ones are just a solid piece of steel. They're bent and they're angled and they're rounded. Okay. But a barrel can do a nicer finish depending on the unit that they're laying out. So that's what John's going with here. You see,
I haven't seen a lot of that.
Not too often.
No.
Not too often. But it was very popular back in the day. And he has been around this trade for a lot of years. So he's bringing a lot of that old school to the new school right now. Look at it. He's got an impressive wall. He's hitting all of his head joints first. He's going through systematically, making sure that he's not missing any. He's got to fill in all of these head joints and bed joints, it compacts the mortar up into the unit. So it makes a really good weather-resistant seal. It makes the wall look better, prettier, if you will. It's not going to allow any water to penetrate in there. Masonry is all about water-resistant assemblages, and this is how you achieve it: striking the wall,
Finishing the wall.
finishing the wall. So they are allowed 20 total voids. What does that mean? If there's a hole that he misses, that's going to be counted as one. He's allowed
Example for the crowd watching. Any example of maybe like a temporary one you got?
a temporary one that has not been gotten to yet, right in here. Now, if that doesn't, that's an example of a void, but he hasn't gotten down to this end of the wall yet, so he still has an opportunity to fill that in. If he goes through and he strikes and he did not fill that in, it's going to count against him. And if he goes over that 20 mark, that's 100 brick deduction.
Wow.
You know how long it takes to lay out 100 brick? You saw it today.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
As we talked about, we probably figured somewhere around 500 brick in an hour. So to lay 100, I don't know what that math is, but 12 minutes, something like that.
About 25% of the time. Come on over here to Johnny Lennon Greps. Check out his work. He's got a nice wall. Man, I am always so impressed when I see a beautiful looking wall from the backside that was laid overhand. It's such a talent. Laying overhand is hard. Many masons that used to work in the city back in the day would have an advantage if they were doing skyscrapers, high rises, stuff like that. They would lay brick from the inside of the building, floor to floor, and lay the outside of the building from inside. We have a few of those masons here that would work in New York City, Philadelphia market, New Jersey market. So they're in that metropolitan where it's not out of the question. I don't think Johnny's done that, but he has somehow compensated for it and figured out his own strategy.
Let's go, Johnny. Speed. Let's go. Quicker, Johnny. Quicker, Johnny. You gotta go quicker, man. Come on.
Hey, Jim, what do you say we come over here and take a look at some of these walls or some of the judging criteria? We saw the judges go in there just a little while ago. I'm going to actually hand the mic off to you here.
Alrighty.
I'm going to point out a couple of things. Stay with me here. We're going to take a look at some of the stuff.
Okay.
Now, this wall was created to actually show some of the flaws that we're looking for. Come up close here.
All right.
We have some special tools. This is a bed joint. This is that long horizontal one that's running across.
Okay.
Their tolerance is 3/4 of an inch. 5/8 of an inch high down to 1/4. So that's a really tight tolerance. This one here that is circled, they put a special tool in there to check it for height, and it did not meet the qualification. So they actually are going to lose 25 brick right there because of that. That's time. Some of the other things that the judges are, this is always a fun one, laying a brick in backwards.
What do they call that, John?
The layman's term is a shiner. Now, a lot of these teams, they know they kick themselves when they do it. It's a simple mistake. And when they try to go so fast, they miss it. Maybe their tender is also missed it. So they got a shiner on the wall and they don't see it until like 2 courses later. We've seen people actually take some mud and try to cover it up.
No.
We're on to that trick, so it's no good anymore.
No bueno.
No bueno.
No bueno.
Here's one of those voids that we were talking about. If the mason had the opportunity to go through and tool this, and he left that, that would be counting against him as one void. Now we count both sides, and he's allowed 20. Some of the other joints, like a head joint, we also have these vertical too big, then that's going to be a deduction. Also, if it's too small, that's another deduction. So it's a close window.
13 minutes.
We'll see. Here's an interesting one right up here. Let's talk about.
Let's see that one.
On the top of the wall, as these guys are actually hustling. We saw guys running. They're going faster than they normally would. They're trying to get every brick in that they can. Maybe they put a little too much heel into one. They get this brick that's tipped. It's called a speedboat in the industry. It's a fun little name, but if you see it, it's like a boat trying to take off. So right here, that's going to be tipped. We actually, if we see something that looks skeptical, the judges have a little electronics Davila level. They're going to use it, they're going to put it up there and see if it's out of that 1/4 inch tolerance. So not much room to work with.
And that's a lot of, and when you do put that level on there, that is pretty pronounced. I mean, there's a lot of leeway for that. There's a little bit, but.
Another one that's just below here that we can identify. This is really exaggerated. However, this is an example of a chip brick. This is how a tender can help his mason. If a tender sees a chip brick in the pile before it goes into the wall, he can have it removed so it never has that chance to actually get laid. Chip brick, you know, you want this covered up.
You gotta go quicker.
They're only allotted about a 1/2 inch, maybe about the size of a dime. That's the tolerance, so it can get by your eye pretty easily.
Quicker, but it's quick.
Another really difficult one, again, these guys are trying to go fast. You wouldn't necessarily see this at a home or on a job site, a big school project, but an example of a lit brick.
Get in on this so you can kind of show us.
That's right, right here. You see that? It's not flush where it should be plumb. This is actually overhanging more than it should. Now they have a tolerance of a 1/4 inch, which is a lot to begin with. This one here is actually past that 1/4 inch, so that's going to be a deduction right there. We don't see too many of them, but sometimes it might not be that drastic. It might only be one corner that's sticking out.
Gotcha.
Jim, they're still going to get whacked for a deduction on that. Now our judges are going to go through all of these walls. We have it broken down so that they're in special criteria. We're going to be checking the plumb out on the ends of the wall. We're going to use the levels that the masons use during the event.
Johnny, go quicker,
They're only allowed a 1/4 inch tolerance there.
And how long is that wall?
26 foot long.
Right.
26.5 foot actually. So they've got a lot of work to do. We're also checking the heights, but we don't use a level for this criteria. We actually use some pins that we set in place prior to the start of the event.
Got an example of that?
Yep, got one right here. Finish it. There's a masonry pin right here, so we have it in there. The mortar's nice and hard now, but when it just pushed in initially. Now we're going to find the last completed double wife, and we're going to measure to it. We're going to check that measurement in 3 locations of the wall. We're going to take an average, and then they have a 1/4 inch tolerance within that average. That's how we determine the height.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you heard it, but Katie just said that we're halfway through the tooling prospect.
So that means 10 minutes to go.
We've got less than 10 minutes to go to complete this competition.
Well, we have 10 minutes to go. That means not only are the mason teams getting antsy to do the best that they can to clean up their wall, but I think we're going to kick off the junior event as soon as that other one gets done.
Absolutely. So the judges will, when they're done here, the judges are going to be getting into the stalls and doing all the criteria that you just showed us.
Yep.
And then we'll have the junior competition going at the same time. So there's a lot of action going on here, Sean.
There is. It is. This is why we call it masonry madness.
Johnny, let's go! Johnny!
So if you take a look over here, Sean, you can see all our judges are getting ready to pounce. They're all getting ready.
Right.
Waiting for these guys to finish up.
Not only they're watching, but they've been watching throughout the entire event. If you pan around, maybe down to the left a little bit, you can see there's judges. They're keeping their eyes out because we don't want these teams doing anything that they shouldn't be doing. They have restrictions. They're allowed to use that tool, the S-joiner, or a sled runner, also known as a bed runner. They can't use any liquids of any type. They can't be wiping down the wall. They have to use tools that are designed for the industry. Marshalltown's a big group. They have all these tools. Jump on Marshalltown's website. You can see all the different sleds and S-joiners that are available to the mason contractors. So,
and I don't know if you can pick up on it, but you see all these judges have red shirts on. And the reason we have them in red shirts is so that they can be seen, right? If a competitor or someone has a question, they know to look for somebody in the red shirt and get the information that they're looking for.
That's right. And they're limited on what kind of questions they can ask during the event. If they were to ask a judge, am I doing this right? The judge isn't going to respond to that. All teams were provided ample time to review the rules. They've been studying it for a long time. They know the ins and outs. But the way to be successful at this event is to these guys. Romero's wall, he's already getting struck up. It's making it look easy. He went really fast. We talked about that craftsmanship award. A lot of groups will actually go and target this award. They will get the minimum number of brick in required to meet that criteria, and then make a beautiful, spectacular wall versus running the risk of pounding brick in and having more imperfections. So it looks like Ray might be going after that title. You see that brush? That's one more of the critical elements in any mason's tool bag, a masonry brush. After Ray tools, he uses S-joiner. Take a look here. He just picked up his brush. He's going to start cleaning up the wall a little bit. Now, after he gets done, now he's going back and he's mitering one more time. On a real job site, they would actually be waiting until that mortar was thumbprint hard. But because of our event, we don't allow them that time. You go when we tell you to go, basically. So his brushing, it may appear like it's smearing it. The mortar is a little bit loose yet because it hasn't had ample time to set up. But because of time constraints, we're not giving him that time for the mortar to set up. But
it is another finish to the mortar, right? You could have a brushed look mortar with joint, or you could have a tool.
That is very true. This is a very easy, simple way to clean off any excess debris that might be on there. It could be brick dust, mortar, and you can see how much it just cleaned it up, just like that. So he took the extra step to make his wall look that much better. That's going to put him in contention for that craftsmanship.
And it's all about that most saleable wall.
That's right.
And looking at saleable walls, here's another example.
All right, guys, we're at 5 minutes remaining. 5 more minutes.
There's another example. Lonnie's down there and his tender's over there pointing out to him with the tape measure, hey, here's a void. Make sure you get that.
So the tenders are allowed to assist in communicating, helping their mason look for those flaws, look for anything that irregularities that might need to be filled in. Now they can tool at this section of the event, but they can't make any adjustments to the actual unit. For example, if they found a shiner, one of those brick that could have gotten laid in backwards, I haven't personally seen any here today, but it does happen. They're not allowed to fix it at this point. That would have had been done in the original 60 minutes. So Ronnie is hitting that bed joint right there. His tender just pointed out, you missed a hole, missed a hole. It's hard to see that being on top of it. So his tender's got a little bit different vantage point and he's helping out, going faster. But if he doesn't get all those holes filled in time, that'll be a void for each one of those. Time is money.
And we're going to find out who is the world's best bricklayer.
Looks like Katie Knapp's getting ready to pick up the microphone again and give us an update. Looks like the buyers, boys, look at these guys. They're just walking, strolling. Man, awesome job, guys, awesome. You're walking on your set early? I mean, we're just hanging out. I mean, nothing left to do.
I mean, we could read it again.
I am not part of the judgment. They give that qualification to somebody else, but your wall looks terrific. That's a lot of units in there. We were talking some strategies while you were laying, and I don't know if you overheard some of the stuff that we were talking about, but you capitalized finishing the end of the event.
All right, we're at 3 minutes.
You went faster
3
on the
more
front of the wall.
minutes.
Is that why you did it?
For sure, yeah. That's what I done. But I went a little too fast, so I had to lay a couple overhands.
We noticed that as well. And that's 2 courses down. So when you're laying 2 courses down, you can't see over it.
Not real well.
Not with a wall this big.
But after all this, my back was loosened up so I could really get in there, you know what I mean?
Man, you guys did an awesome
you,
job
sir.
today.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. I can't wait to hear the results. Now, the judges are going to be going in here in just a few moments. Every stall, every criteria, we're going to find out who won this event. The candle was lit. Let's find out the winner here, Jim.
You got it, Sean.
Look.
So we're getting ready for the final countdown here any minute.
During that 5-minute break period, the judges went in and they actually took counts, talked about that. So we know what each stall has laid, but we don't know what the winner, who the winner's going to be, because we have to figure out, well, what else do we have to look at? Peel back this onion and find out if there's any additional deductions. Camera.
Well, we're coming down to the finals here.
I lost my lead.
All right, guys, you got 1 more minute. 1 more minute to finish up.
Getting down to the final minutes. Or final minute, I should say. Sean.
More experience. The event is not over yet. We still have 60 seconds to go. Ray Merrill's stall, he's out also. Another team. Him and Felipe, they got it done. They cleaned up their wall. They're out here taking a break. I mean, I see some sweat. We can't say it was easy, but those last 20 minutes had to be a lot easier than the initial.
Absolutely, it gets hurt, yeah.
How you feel about the whole thing?
Done better.
Done better?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to just wait to see where the chips
though.
fall, though.
Yeah.
Awesome. Felipe did a bang-up job keeping his slide up there.
Yeah.
Did your plan
All
work
right,
the way you
countdown
wanted?
is on. 10,
I didn't roll.
9,
We're going to come back and we're going to talk about that.
All right. Thank you.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tools down.
Look at this. Masonry madness. 60 minutes plus 20 minutes
The
striking.
junior bricklaying contest coming up next, so definitely check out the juniors. They're all geared up in their stalls, ready to start.
That is a lot of brick that got laid. Right there. Oh my.
What an event.
Fantastic.
What an event.
Now, Jim,
Yes.
we can't sit around.
No.
This masonry madness just keeps going and going and going.
So
now,
you're going to have to help me get my way over here. We're going to work our way to the juniors.
we're going to work our way over to the juniors right now.
I think that's this way.
You got to navigate through all of this here. Let's see what we got here. It's an example of the starter wall there. Getting ready to take this off.
I think that's some sauce. The only one that curses.
How are we doing, young man?
Doing fantastic. How about you, Shay?
I'm doing great. What's your name?
My name is Marlon. Marlon Nurse.
Marlon, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Now, are you going to be laying yourself, or are you going to be mason tender today?
Mason tender.
Mason
today.
tender?
Just helping my guy out, with the shovel and helping him out with the bricks. But eventually, I do hope to get here one day. I'm just starting my pre-training for the apprenticeship. I just started 2 weeks ago.
Gotcha.
And, this is where I hope to be, and then over there is where I really want to be.
That's fantastic. Did you watch that event? Did you see those guys hustle?
These guys are beasts out here. I just want to say that these guys are just, I've lost the words. You guys are beasts. Everybody
they are.
Over here is just doing very well, doing their thing, and this is a beautiful thing to see. This is artistry here.
Hey, we appreciate you being here. Absolutely. We're excited to see how you work with your partner here. Good luck in the SPEC Mix Junior Bricklayer 500.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate the time.
More teams. We got 6 junior teams here that are going to be competing today. Hi, gentlemen. How are we? You ready? We're about ready to kick this off, I think.
Representing the shore today.
Oh, this is so much fun. What's what they do?
That's Robert. Who's kicking this off? We're gonna start loading some mortar up here on these boards.
I just got thrown right into
Get these juniors going.
No pressure at all. They called my name, they gave me a shirt and a hat.
Right as we wait for the juniors to start up, come back over here and take a look at the judges. Here's one of our judges that's actually doing the height. He just took a measurement out of one of the 3 locations, writing that down. Now he's gonna go check another. He's utilizing that pin that was installed earlier. Now he's got an accurate measurement. Then he's going to go find out what the average is and check to see if it's within tolerance. A couple of masonry legends right here that are helping us out here. Sam and Rick Galdieri, Keystone Concrete Block. Hello, Rick.
Hello.
Rick is
Shout out to local one.
Local one there, Sam. Now
we're good.
Sam was just using a Stabila level. That if you notice, the judges will use the same level that the mason used during the event. We're going to make sure that everything is apples to apples. These judges have a lot of work to do, but they're also very efficient. We have developed processes to make us increase quality, but be very efficient and timely. We don't want to keep you in suspense too long out there. We're going to run this Bricklayer 500 Junior here. When that gets done, we're actually going to be coming back and giving out some awards.
So we're going to get them to load the board.
Yeah, we're good. We got
Nobody told me that.
We're going to get started here.
Full look at the junior setup. You know, we were talking earlier about some of the great support that we have in the industry. Groups like Multi-Clip, Instabila. But you know what? IQ Power Tools is here with us today live They're actually showing off some of their equipment here. What's your name?
James Cameron.
James, what do you do for them?
Well, I'm with the company. I go around and show our wonderful tools. All our tools are integrated with dust containment. So basically, you've got a dry cut saw here, 16.5 inches, the IQ, 362. Put a 24-inch wood table on it. All the dust is going to go down through the cyclones and actually be captured down here.
So in case you can't hear it there, he was talking about the dust collection, how important that is. They've got their saws and equipment set up that it's collecting it all, making a dust-free environment. We all know how important that is nowadays. And showing off this type of stuff here to this audience that's filled with masons and wannabe masons, it's a good way to increase and promote our industry for the best tools available to the mason contractor. We appreciate you being here and taking some time to speak with us. All right. Yeah. Hey, we're going to find out who won this event in just a little bit, so let's keep it going. We had some food that was grilled up here today for the audience. How about this? Stabila setup. Click, click, bang. If you need the laser level, if you need a 4-foot, 2-foot, 8-inch Stabila, they have some phenomenal engineering into their equipment. It's just not a regular level. You can drop these things from elevation and still, it's going to be accurate. Just panning over here. What about this? What is this thing? Whoa! SPEC Mix D2W Workhorse. Look at this thing. Operates off of 80-pound bags of pre-blended SPEC Mix material. It actually comes out wet. Pre-blended material at the beginning comes out wet, usable mortar for the mason. Move it around location to location, floor to floor. This keeps the contractor mobile and efficient. Oftentimes, contractors need options. We're delivering. I'm coming up here through the crowd. What do we got here? Whoa, Langerat Masonry. I don't know, must be the supporting fan club.
So everybody, I think we're ready.
Okay, so I'll tell them I'll travel stuff. Okay. Hey, it's great. I know. It's
Thank you.
Just saw that little Stabila electronic level in action. Saw one that might be in question, so they checked it. If they find an occurrence that it fails the quality control, we mark it with a keel. Write it down on the sheets and tally it up.
When we start, we build up one side first.
You would not believe that it is October here in Northeast New Jersey. It is a beautiful day. Picture perfect day. SPEC Mix silos used in conjunction with that multi-clip mixer.
Now, so if you want to go check out the juniors, it's all in the back. Juniors, why don't you do your travels up?
Hey, Sean, we're getting ready.
Thanks, Jim. We needed that update. We've been waiting for it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get going.
All right.
Jim, we are off and running.
The junior competition event.
What can you tell me about this? How did this all come about?
Well, Sean, as you know, when you look at the masonry trade and you look at the average age of the mason on the wall, we're well into their 50s. So, we've got to do things to support the industry, to help grow the industry and get the youth involved, right? And what better way than to have a junior competition to introduce them to this?
Well, we know the success of the main event. The SPEC makes BRICKLAYER 500 coming into its 20th year. It is phenomenal for the industry. We are promoting those talents that only masons carry. There is no other industry out there that offers events like that. But here, we've expanded it even further, bringing it into the excitement of the junior level. This should even keep our event growing much further.
Absolutely. Then we're hoping to see these guys competing in the senior division.
That's right. We spoke with one of the juniors here earlier. One of the tenders here, he's actually videoing for himself. This is one of the young men that was talking about looking to compete as the mason in the junior maybe next year. So he's filming this right now, maybe for his own study, so that he could dial it in that much faster.
Well, also, he could probably go to the SPEC Mix web page and check.
Think about that part.
Right? Go watch that.
So it's a little bit different element. They don't have near the experience as some of the others that we saw in the main, but they have Anthem